Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today taking a look at the new Fortune Island DLC that has just come out for Forza Horizon 4. We are at the prettiest, perhaps, time of day here. We've got the Aurora going on. Over there is pretty crazy. We're going to start with, well, I guess the important road, shall we say. The road that everybody has been wanting and everyone's been excited about, I guess, most for this DLC. And that is the wiggly road that goes up the mountain. Can't really see it from down here. And I'm going to take a drift car up it. Well, I say a drift car. This is my go-to vehicle, a 1,000 horsepower rear-wheel drive Civic, because that's a good idea. Surprisingly, actually works pretty well. This the 70s Civic is not from the Fortune Island itself. This is from the car pass. This week's vehicles, or one of the two vehicles, I think. So yeah, we're going to try and chuck it up this mountain and see what we can do. I should point out I'm not a drifter in any way, shape or form, so I'll probably be doing plenty wrong. Anyway, this sort of very technical switchback road is not something that open world racing games have actually wanted to do. None of them have really wanted to do this sort of road. There are plenty of places where you can utilise a full-on hypercar, plenty of places where you can drive the wheels off those sort of cars very, very quickly at 200 miles an hour plus. But these actual technical mountain roads, no one has really done all that much. And while Horizon 4 is generally a more technical game in terms of its road layouts than previous games, there's still not this sort of road in the mainland. So, naturally everyone was excited. Hell, while I'm not interested in this for drifting as such, I was curious about this for the likes of soapbox racing, hill climbing, and so on. It might not quite be steep enough, I don't think, for some soapbox racing. While it looks steep going up here, when you're actually trying to use gravity itself to propel the car, it's not great. There's too many kind of flat areas to really be able to pick up speed. Might get something working, possibly. But, yeah, it's not quite as steep as I would ideally like. Hill climbing, though, is going to be quite possible around here. I mean, previously I've used bits of, like, the Bi-Circuit and Bathurst on Forza 7, but this gives you a good place to do some hill climbing and to do sort of very technical hill climbing and so on. Hell, most of the more technical roads on Forza games have been on the dirt, and while that's good for me, I love rallying and so on. It is nice to have this, you know, it's a good road for this sort of stuff. Plenty of impressive scenery as you wiggle up. Probably more impressive going down, to be fair. You get better views as you go down the road. It's actually been a very, very poor run indeed from me up here. I got, yeah, almost spun at one point. Yeah, it's not been great. It's not been great from the Civic here, but we've got up in one go without any massive crashes, and there we go. That's the road. Unfortunately, there's this point where I say, well, that's it. Pretty much. Sadly, as much as I'd hoped for there to be all sorts of different kind of roads like that, that's kind of it. We go have a look at the map. I'm just going to get rid of everything for now. That's your wiggly road. Great fun, but that's it. Now, there are other hilly roads. There are some good elevation changes, you know, around here. There's actually good circuits as well around here to race, but if you were hoping for lots of roads like that, you are going to be disappointed. And I'll be honest, I was hoping for at least 2 or 3 different sorts, maybe different steepnesses. You know, maybe you could have this level of technicality, maybe something, you know, narrow, maybe a little bit faster and so on. But no, that is it. If anything, perhaps there is a more spectacular road in the dirt. I'm going to go grab another. Well, this is one of the new cars that actually does come from the DLC. We're going to grab the Funko. This is the F9. It is a 1,750 horsepower sandrail. Weighs less than 3,000 pounds, near 1,500 torque. Rear-wheel drive. It's mad. I have customised it a little bit. The wing on the back, yeah, that doesn't come with it from standard, and I've given it a customisable gearbox because the gear ratios weren't particularly great from standard. This does pretty much take it to the top of S1 class. And the road we're going to drive down, well, you want something off-roady. In fact, this is probably not the best vehicle because it's a bit wibbly and a bit wobbly. The engine's out the back, and the front likes to lift off the ground a lot. Fine for sandrail things, terrifying for running around this part of the map. Also, we're going to run around in the dark. The Aurora's buggered off, so we're going to run around this bit in the dark. As I said, this to me is perhaps the more spectacular road. Now there is a rally route, a rally race that tackles this part, and in that you have the comfort of barriers around parts of this. When you're doing it in free roam, you have a very, very steep drop off to the right, and to the left-hand side you've got rocks and kind of mountainside that will try to fire you to the right. So you've got to keep it well within the, or well on the dirt. Don't make any mistakes. It will punish you down here. And to make matters more challenging, it's actually quite fast as well. This is not a, well, I say it's not the ultimate technical kind of rally stage here. The Funko being rear-wheel drive and a bit ungainly, it's not the easiest car to show the, I say the easiest car to show off. When you're flying down here in like an S1 class rally car, for example, that is a fantastic road, and it's the whole risk versus reward thing. You can go very quick in places, but you misjudge it by a few millimeters and you are off the mountainside. My kind of road, my kind of challenge, if you like, down here. Yeah, the Funko. Not the easiest to get around there. Oh, I've clipped a rock. That was silly. There we go. Once we do unleash this car, though, you've got an immense amount of speed. It's difficult to access all of it. I've seen where we're aiming for. Here we go, Funko. To space with you. We can apparently just jump all the way down if we want. I'm fine with that. 1,200 feet. It's a personal best, actually. I was going to say, I don't know what I've done before there, but there we go. New personal best for me. In terms of the actual island itself, in terms of the scenery, it's a pretty place here. As the Aurora itself is spectacular. The lightning storms are cool and everything, but I think the Aurora really steals the show. There's plenty of different areas to go and explore. I like the mountain. You can try and climb it. You'll only get, well, 3/4 of the way up. It gets very rocky higher up. You've got a forest to go and wander around. There's a beach with sort of shipwrecks. It's kind of like a little shipwreck cave and so on. I like the bit that we're barreling off towards over here. There's quite a lot of cross-country opportunities, actually. There's quite a lot of places to go exploring with your off-road vehicles. And then you've got this sort of sunken, old, abandoned town, which is something different. Be good for Halloween or whatever. Especially when you're racing around here at night with the Aurora going on, it does look very spooky. It's cool though, you know. It's a slightly different area, and there's another mountain over there you can go and explore around. For off-road opportunities, there are plenty. In fact, there's some very, very spectacular. Can I find the race I want to do now? That's the good question. There are some seriously, oopsie, didn't mean to press that. There are some seriously spectacular cross-country races. Oh, hold on, I'm goofing up everything here. Come on then, cross-country. Where is it? Now, there's a point-to-point one that I want to do. I think it's this one here that is incredible for some seriously impressive scenery. If anything, this is more cross-country island than it is. I mean, a lot of people have been, I say, sold. A lot of people have been expecting it all for a single drift road. But this is a lot more about the off-road vehicles in many ways than you might expect. I'm just going to create a custom blueprint for this. S1 class, because I want buggies to run around here. There we go. Yes, this is a lot more about these kind of things than anything else, because of the crazy elevation change, some of the crazy scenery. When you start throwing these buggies around at the speeds that these things are capable of, certainly this sort of style of vehicle are capable of, you get huge air time, and you can run. There's a lot of like cliff faces that you can run along, whether it be that mountain road or whether it be actually trying to bounce along the terrain. And of course, the mountain road is one thing, but when you're actually just bouncing along the terrain with no set path and you're bouncing along around the cliff faces, yeah, that's sketchy and terrifying in many ways, which we are about to find out. Oh god, Funko, come on now, please turn. It takes some getting used to, and I'm going to say this now, I doubt I'm winning this race. I've got the straight line speed and everything, but handling is sketchy, and I'm probably going to visit some scenery here. There's almost too much power for the rear wheels to deal with out here. This is the big jump. You go too far to the left here, which we might be about to fire ourselves towards. You're having a bad time of things. And then we're going to throw, there's a few more big jumps, if I remember correctly. We're just going to aerial attack some buggies. It's fine. Yeah, we're just going to jump off down towards the ocean now. Don't know where we're going, don't know where we're landing. Hope for the best. I was actually completely out of shape going over there, so I didn't really get all that much speed. Oh, hello, aerial nomad. I'm just going to squish you against a wall. And you've got more sort of cliff faces along. In terms of scenery to go barreling around in your off-roaders, this is pretty bloody good. Oh, there's a few vehicles that have bailed on this idea of jumping the canyon and rolled over. No, Polaris, you muppet. Oh, buggies have got some speed through there. Rolling the Funko. Of course, these sort of vehicles love to tripod around, front wheels wiggling in the air regularly. The weight distribution of this probably not helping matters. Here we go, another big jump. I don't actually know if I want to go for a big jump because I don't know where the course goes. Big wheelie! Oh, God, hold on for dear life. More big wheelies. Oh, I think I got the checkpoint, but only just. Christ, the AI have missed as many checkpoints as I have, I think, around here. There's a lot of exploring going on, especially when I'm, mostly learning these circuits. We're not going to be... Well, we've got second. It's actually kind of better than I thought I was going to do. The mad Funko. Yeah, your other vehicles are probably a more sensible option. But I am a big fan of having weird, unusual, out-of-control vehicles. Oh, God. maybe a little bit more control, actually. I take that back. And I like having the unusual cars, the massively overpowered monsters, and quite sort of specialised. In the case of this thing, very, very specialised for one sort of event. It's nice to have. It's nice to have as a car to play around with. And hell, of course, you can take it off the island. It isn't only usable on Fortune Island. We can go play around on the normal roads. And if you want to happen to make a really narrow street circuit around Edinburgh and then take a sand rail to it, you can. Which is probably something I will do at some point, and not really be able to control it all that well. There are a couple of, new event types, if you like. There's a new PR stunt section, if we like. Let's go. And I presume these are only Trailblazer events are only found on the island. I don't know if there's any being put into the mainland. But yeah, there are these new Trailblazer events. There are 5 of them around here. Apparently I've done most of them, or either got 3 or 2 stars. Let's have a go. Oh, this one here was a horrible one. I do remember trying to do this one with a Warthog. It didn't work very well. I think the Funko's actually going to work. No, it's Willie's Jeep. Maybe? I don't know, did it with something here. I don't think the Funko is going to work all that well over here. The way these events work, actually kind of like some of the bucket list stuff that there was on Horizon 3. There's a start point and an end point. Find your way between them as fast as possible. That's about it. There's no real set route. You can get creative with trying to find a route if necessary. I will be honest, with the exception of these Trailblazer events, none of the PR stunts have been all that challenging. And I say with the exception of these, I'm sure with a slightly better suited vehicle I would be okay. I'm actually going to try and play this one here a little bit cautious. I don't know whether it's going to work doing that. Yeah, this one here is an interesting one. I think I've done okay. Actually, I think that's very well if I can not roll over. What have we got to do time-wise? Is it 40 seconds or 30? Some of them are 40, some of them are 30. That one there was a 3-star through that one. Well, there we go. That was a lot more difficult than the last thing I was trying. I'm kind of surprised the Funko could do that quite so easily. What was the time for that? It was 40 seconds. Wow, we just did it. Yeah, these are a bit challenging. Again, they're good fun. But I've done all of them now, pretty much. I think this one, if this is the one I think it is, let's just teleport our way up over here. I need to get all the bonus balls on the mainland for free teleporting, because I jump around enough just trying to show off this stuff. I don't even want to know how much money I've cost myself in teleporting around. But, yeah, they're fun events. They're fun events to go and do. The likes of the speed zones, the likes of the drift zones and whatever, I think just about everything I've 3-starred on the first attempt if I was using even a vaguely sensible vehicle. Hell, some of the danger signs I was doing with a Morris. There is a new Morris, actually, that comes with this DLC. Oh, that was a bad place to go. Yeah, there's a new Morris Minor, a Morris Minor Traveller, which is like I guess the estate version of the Morris Minor almost. And there we go. I think that one there was that was a 3-star despite being wildly out of control somehow. Yeah, like I was doing danger signs with a Morris Minor, prattling around and was getting 3 stars with them. They aren't all that challenging. Again, I mean, they're fun enough to do. I was hoping perhaps for a little bit more challenging. The actual races themselves are, I mean, they're the same. The AI are always going to be racing you the same way. You can get some good races around here. The circuits are good fun that I've come across that the game has. The circuits are good fun to drive around, although there is actually a rather limited amount of possibility, certainly in terms of if you're going to be doing tarmac races. If you want to create tarmac circuits, there is not much to go on, because, well, just about everything is taken. Just about every single road that loops back on itself, there is a route. I mean, I guess you might be able to... No, because that's all used. I guess you could make a longer route around there that kind of basically merge those 2 circuits together. There's nothing really out here because there's no start lines for it. That circuit's already used. Up here, they're point-to-point stuff. It's just, yeah, if you're looking for somewhere for course creation, looking for somewhere to make circuits, tarmac stuff isn't going to be your friend over here. There's certainly some potential for dirt stages. There's certainly some potential for rally stages. There's potential for a little bit of rallycross stuff as well if you want them to be course creating. But yeah, a lot of stuff's kind of already taken. The treasure hunt events, Fortune Island Treasure Hunt, I think it's called. They are new. This is quite fun. As you go through the events, as you kind of level up your rank at the festival bit, you get sent these little riddles in which you've got to try and do whatever it is that they ask for. So, for example, this one was take the Iron Knight through a certain speed zone. This one would be take the Lamborghini LM002 through a forest. My guess for that would be this would be the forest. I would hazard a guess at there is one of these that goes through the forest. The forest run, potentially. Do I have an LM002? Let's go have a look. If I have one, I'll give it a try and see if it works. But basically, yeah, you complete these riddles. Of course, sure, you can go and cheat. You can probably go and find. In fact, I have absolutely no doubt there will be many places you can go and find everything. Tell you exactly what car and where to go with what car, if you want to. If you want to have fun and try and figure it out yourself, then go for it. They're fun little distractions, and they are definitely worthwhile doing. Not only do you get 10 million credits, you get 1 million credits each, which works out at 10 million credits for completing all of them. That's not bad. Oh, I can't fast travel to that, can I? That's not bad at all. Can't be sniffed at 10 million credits. There's also a way to unlock some of the cars that come with this island, the likes of the Lamborghini Aventador J, the Koenigsegg CC8S, the Celine, the S5S Raptor. That's back in Forza games now. Oh, apparently we stally bugger. But yeah, that is back in Forza, and you unlock these by completing a certain number of these. I think the first two, and you get the Raptor. I don't know how many more it is for the rest of them, but I mean, you're going to do them. They're a bit of fun. I quite like the riddle aspect of them. It's a fun sort of slight variation on the go find a treasure chest in a little marked area. You've got to try and complete an objective or whatever. And the treasure chest itself pops up like a barn find car. And there we go. Solved the riddle. Figured it out. So we have now got the picture is actually a clue to where the chest is as well. So that one was in a cave. That one was on the edge of the mountain. That was parked around by the boats. This is by the water's edge, I would presume, judging by the picture, maybe somewhere around here-ish, potentially. Let's go and take the Lamborghini on a little bit of an explore, because the picture was looking up to the forest. So it doesn't look like it was coming from the sea. I might be overthinking this terribly. We've actually had quite miserable weather going on here. Is this a proper lightning storm, or the lightning storms are cool. I think the aurora is just more spectacular. The lightning storms, you certainly pay attention when the lightning storms are going. Is it around here, do we reckon? Very difficult when the picture is bright, lovely sunshine, and then we are in the terrible pouring rain. It looks like it's by a dirt road. It looks like a path is heading up. Is there any dirt roads around here? I guess sometimes you have got... Sometimes like paths aren't actually shown as roads on the map. I guess it might be by the... This is not the best car for searching for treasure chests at all. Yeah, we've got proper... It is now a full-on lightning storm we have going on. So when we've gone through, I guess, all the important weather effects... Oh, there it is. There it is. You can find the little Viking signs around the place. And then we boot that. Hey! We got 1 million credits. A nice bonus. Oh, let's go do a stunt jump in a Lamborghini while we are heading down here. Here we go. It's the giddy heights of 80 miles an hour. Come on, Lamborghini, fly! This probably wouldn't get it 3 stars. I'll be honest. This probably not. I don't know what we would have needed to. What was that, 322? Yeah, 450. But there we go. So that's the treasure hunt. It's, you know, it's good fun to do. You'll do all 10 of them. You'll get all the cars and so on. I think it's a nice way of doing it. There isn't, as far as I'm aware, a barn find car on the island. I could be wrong, and there may well be stuff, maybe that sort of thing added later. But yeah, I haven't come across or heard of barn find cars, etc. So, I mean, that's just about it. I will go grab the Raptor quickly. I'll go do a race with it. The Raptor, little bit of a shame with the Celine, because one of the main attractions with this car, one of the reasons I remember it so vividly from Forza Motorsport 4 that it was in, was the supercharger noise, which was epic. However, it's no supercharger noise anymore. I guess it might get some supercharger noise if you upgrade it, but from standard, no supercharger. It's maybe a tiny bit, but not the same whine that was so distinctive from Motorsport 4. There have been some sound changes to vehicles. The Trailcat that I use and love in S1 class, that no longer makes its crazy supercharger whine anymore. I believe that would be from the updates to the game in general, rather than, and there may well be sound fixes to some other cars that had weird sounding engines and whatnot, but slight bit of a shame. Was hoping for big old supercharger noise from this, and sadly that is not there. The other cars that come with this island, I like the Mad Things, I like the Funko, I like the Exocet. There's an off-road version of the Exocet, you might be familiar with it from Forza Motorsport 7. There's the new BMW M5, there's a Ram concept off-road thing. They're nice enough cars. I probably wouldn't have had them at the top of my list of cars I would like to see on the game. The Aventador J, the CCS and so on. There's probably something for everybody in here. There's probably something for everybody. However, none of them were at the very, very top of my list of cars that I would like to see. Although I do enjoy a bit of madness, and the Funko is is definitely that. It's nice to see the Celine back. I was just hoping for more supercharger noise. This circuit, I quite like this circuit, quite enjoy driving this one. Like the circuits that I've driven, all the circuits I've driven around here have been fun in their own way. They've not been bad circuits. However, my abiding feeling with a lot of this is I just wish there was a little bit more. I wish there was a bit more in terms of the technical roads. The island itself is good fun, and for cross-country events, for the big off-roaders, fantastic. There's a lot of incredible scenery, and I suspect if you want to be doing kind of point-to-point extreme off-roading stuff, maybe not quite rock crawling, because Forza Physics doesn't really handle rock crawling, but you could have some fun making extreme cross-country stuff around. You get a lot of fun making extreme cross-country stuff around here. However, in the tarmac twisty nasty stuff section, I would have liked a little bit more. And there are a couple of problems with multiplayer as well. Team adventures aren't a thing here. And while in general multiplayer, maybe you're not a big fan of the team adventures, it's something that has been very useful to me in terms of filming for like versus community and challenging stuff. And when you're loading up like, individual races and so on, sometimes it can be quite a slog getting back and getting everybody reconnected and so on. So team adventures are a good way to avoid that. There's just none. And I don't know why that's an option that's been taken away here. I don't know why that's a thing that we can't do on the island. There's enough events for us to make team adventures out of, but nope, we're not allowed to do that. I have heard as well that matchmaking for just normal PvP races is problematic and doesn't really work. Not something that I have experienced or come across with, and if you are in a convoy, you can perfectly happily set up races and go do events as well as you can on the mainland, but I have heard, apparently, matchmaking isn't great out here, so multiplayer-wise, outside of just, well, kind of creating your own convoy and doing your own stuff, you might have problems. I'm apparently having problems with my Celine not really working in the lightning storm, not really catching the cars ahead of me. I think we're going to be stuck in an 8th place. Celine, it's fun enough to drive, apparently not quite competing with these other vehicles around this circuit. And I think, like overall, my abiding thought with this island, I will enjoy playing through it, I'll enjoy getting everything done. I probably am not going to spend as much time on here as I have with previous expansions. I'll be honest, I love Blizzard Mountain. I think that's probably my favourite of the Forza DLCs, Forza expansions and so on. I spent a long time playing around on that. Here, I don't think I'm going to come back to it as much. Sure, there is one good, fun, twisty road that we'll inevitably use for some hill climbing. And if you're into your drifting, great and everything. But that's it in terms of that road. Then these other roads here, yeah, they're fun enough, but they're nothing that much different from what we've seen before. So, yeah, if you're looking for, if you're expecting a lot of those kind of roads, I was certainly hoping for more than one. You will probably be a little bit disappointed. I am curious to see what the seasonal changes might be on the island, especially with winter. There are a lot of kind of muddy off-road. Again, we're talking about off-road races here. There's a lot of potential, I think, for off-road races and so on, with there being a lot of puddles, and when we go to winter we might have a lot of icy patches that could make for some interesting, quite scary races. But yeah, on the whole, just wish for a little bit more. It's certainly, you know, plenty of fun to be had. Certainly plenty of fun to be had. I like the cars, even if they aren't, you know, they aren't necessarily top of my list. I do like the combination of cars that we have got going around here. Is that... Oh, that's a stunt job I haven't done. Let's go and finish with that. However, yeah, I do wonder quite how much time I'm going to spend on here once I have completed all of the various different bits and pieces. It's a little bit of a show. I think there was an opportunity for perhaps a little bit more from this. A fun area to play around with, but I would really have liked a few more of the twisty roads, and perhaps a few more even opportunities for Course Creator to be used. Oh, we're going to have a very big crash, I fear. Oh, no, we got it back down without rolling, so we completed the jump, and that's another 3-star. Yeah, there we go. That is going to be it for this video. I thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.